I once asked Uncle Homer what you give someone who has everything. He said, penicillin. Uncle Homer was a funny guy. Our handsome hero, Bellerophon, had everything. The world was his oyster. A beautiful, adoring wife. A kingdom that flourished beneath his rule. Fame that echoed across the world. And at his command, their winged horse, Pegasus. He had it all. Everything a mortal could ever dream of. So tell me, what more could a man desire? Immortality, a seat among the gods, a place on Mount Olympus. But there is a word, a dangerous word, one whispered in the downfall of kings. Hubris. You know hubris, don't you? The little voice that says, you deserve more. That creeping belief that you are untouchable. It's the fickle finger of fate snapping you back to reality the moment you fly too high. And Bellerophon flew higher than any man ever should. Mounted on Pegasus, he soared into the heavens, higher and higher, toward Olympus itself. But Zeus, king of the gods, does not share his domain. With a single act of divine wrath, he struck. Pegasus bucked. The sky vanished beneath him, and Bellerophon fell. Not dead, but broken, alone, forgotten. A man who once had everything, and lost it, chasing more. Let that serve as a warning to us all, because as dear Uncle Homer once said, you can't have everything. Where in Hades would you put it? Uncle Homer was a funny guy. Hubris. It's a great word. Hubris. You could say it means keep your feet on the ground even when your head is in the sky. But trust me, it means much more than that. And by the end of this story, you'll know exactly what it means and how to avoid it. Our story begins with a name, Bellerophon. Brave, handsome, born of legend, son of Glaucus and Eurydice, grandson of the infamous Sisyphus. Yes, Sisyphus. You remember Sisyphus, don't you? The poor fool who ratted on Zeus. Told Aeginet's father that he saw her and old Zeusy sneaking up a hill together, and no, they were not carrying water pails. You never, ever rat on Zeus. Zeus has a very particular sense of justice. So Sisyphus was casted to Tartarus, condemned to push a massive boulder up a hill, forever. And just as he reached the top, it rolled all the way back down. The good news, he couldn't die. The bad news, he couldn't die. Imagine working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in a blazing hot factory. No pay, no breaks, not even a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's Sisyphus. Bubber, hate when that happens. But as usual, I digress, because Bellerophon was something else entirely. His lineage was a matter of debate. Some whispered he was no mere mortal, that he was the son of Poseidon himself. Look at him, sculpted like a god, sharp of mind, noble in spirit, a man who didn't just walk into greatness, he was born into it. And his mother, Eurydice, had been had by Athena herself. Wisdom, craft, the fingerprints of the divine were everywhere. So perhaps it's no surprise that a man born so close to the gods would one day try to become one. Now, between us, I know for a fact His real father was Poseidon. But let's just say keep that quiet, because if Glaucus ever found out, Eurymede would have some serious explaining to do. He wasn't always called Bellerophon. At birth his name was Hipponis, but names have a way of changing. Not long before our story begins, he killed a man, Bellerophon of Corinth, and from that moment on he became Bellerophon, killer of Belarus, or if you prefer something a little more poetic, bearer of darts. Some say the story came later just to explain the name, but trust me, that's bunk. Bel once told me the whole story himself. Yeah, I called him Bel. Don't get any ideas, I was the only one who got away with that. Anyone else, he'd smack them straight into next week. But Belarus wasn't the only blood on his hand. During a quarrel, he killed his own brother, Deliades. Yeah, his own brother. Yo, Bel, maybe mix in a little pacifism, huh? To be fair, that one was an accident. No malice, no self-defense, just tragedy. And so, weighed down by guilt, Bellerophon fled to Terence, to the court of King Proetus, seeking purification, seeking redemption. Now, I'd met Proetus before, old king, sharp eyes, and a palace full of secrets, and his queen, legend says he was unforgettable. Bellerophon asked me to introduce him. I agreed, but I gave him one warning: beware the queen. In ancient Greece, hospitality was sacred. To deny a guest comfort was to invite the wrath of the gods themselves, and trust me, you did not want that kind of attention. So we came to Terence, confident we would be welcomed, and we were. King Proetus greeted us warmly and was more than pleased to meet my handsome friend. But then, there was his wife, Queen Hentia, or Sthenoboa, depending on which Greek you ask, and they could never make up their minds. The moment she saw Bellerophon, it was over. She wanted him completely, instantly. Told you she was funky? I speak from experience. The queen used every trick she knew: wealth, beauty, power. She circled him, closing in like a hunter. But Bellerophon did what few men could. He said no. He was a guest in Proetus's house, and to betray that trust would be dishonor, no matter the temptation. You are very beautiful, Your Majesty, and I am flattered, but no, I will pass. Ouch. That did not go well. And Tia was not a woman used to hearing no, and rejection is a dangerous thing in the hands of the powerful. She pushed harder. Charm turned to pressure. Pressure turned to desperation. The air grew thick, tense, dangerous. But Bellerophon held firm to his honor, to his values, and yes, to his clothing. And when the moment came, he slipped free and walked away. But some doors should never be closed, because rejection can turn desire into something far more dangerous. The queen was outraged. How dare he refuse her? Did he not understand who she was? Off with his head. Oops, wrong fairy tale. But make no mistake, the wrath of a scorned queen is far more dangerous than any blade. Hentia ran to her husband. Disheveled, trembling, in tears, she told King Proetus that Bellerophon had tried to violate her, that she had barely escaped. "You must kill him," she cried. "He has profaned your hospitality." The king burned with rage, but he was trapped because to kill a guest was to defy the gods themselves. So instead, he chose something worse, a plan that would kill Bellerophon without ever touching him. Proteus summoned a hero, calm, smiley. "Go to Lycia," he said. "Serve King Iobates, the father of my wife, and earn your redemption." And then he handed him a sealed message, a letter of introduction, or so it seemed, because inside that letter was a death sentence. "This man must be killed," the letter said. "Is molested your daughter." Today we call that a Bellerophontic letter, delivering your own doom without ever knowing it. I knew something was wrong. Belle had gone quiet. But even I didn't realize how far the queen would go. I couldn't go with him. Zeus was planning something dramatic, needed someone to take notes. "I'll see you after the flood," I told him. I packed my boots and my umbrella. And so Bellerophon arrived in Lycia, welcomed like royalty, bathed, fed, celebrated. For 9 days the food never stopped, the wine never ran dry. What did I tell you about Greek hospitality? I love when that happens. Then, the king asked for use of his daughter, and Bellerophon remembered the letter and handed it over. As Iobates read, his face turned pale, deadly pale. His service assumed wine poisoning. Another king, trapped by the same law. Kill the guest and anger the gods. Spare him and defy his own blood. So Iobates smiled and lied. "Serve ye for 1 year," he said, "and you will be purified." And Bellerophon, eager, fearless, ready for the redemption, agreed. He had no idea. He had just volunteered for death. The first task was simple. Kill the Chimaera. Simple. Now let me explain what exactly that meant. The Chimaera was a nightmare made flesh. A lion's head, a goat's body, a serpent's tail, 3 heads, 1 problem. And, just to make things interesting, it breathed fire, constantly, relentlessly, from all 3 mouths. Great for barbecues, terrible table manners, and the breath, Zeus have mercy, pass the extra strength mints. The beast had made its home in Lycia, and in no time, it turned paradise into terror. Villages burned, people devoured, property values plummeted. All Bellerophon had to do was kill it. "Oh, and by the way," said the king, "everyone else who tried got eaten. Good luck and goodbye." King Iobates was certain this would be the end. But Bellerophon was no fool. Before charging to his death, he sought wisdom. The seer Polydius gave him one piece of advice: find Pegasus, the winged horse born from the blood of Medusa when Perseus struck her down. Perseus. Remind me to tell you that story sometime. It's a good one. Pegasus now served Zeus, carried thunderbolts across the sky, and when he wasn't working, he spent his time with the muses. Not a bad gig. I even rode him once. Yeah, I've got connections. Best ride of my life, even better than borrowing Ilyssus' sun chariot. So, Bellerophon searched across all Greece, mountains, valleys, endless roads, until finally he found him at the well of Parity, drinking, resting, waiting. Wings folded, power contained, a creature of pure freedom. He'd been given rides to the muses all day, and let's just say a few of them had enjoyed the holidays a little too much. And now the hero stood before the one creature that could save his life, or end it. Now, how exactly did Bellerophon tame Pegasus? Depends who you ask. Some say Athena gave him a golden bridle. Others say Pegasus arrived already tamed, and a few whisper Poseidon had something to do with it. Yeah, can we get a consensus here? No? Fine. I'll clear it up. Athena did it. She told me herself. You see, I have mentioned Bel to my great-aunt Athena, and she was watching him. That's what made her different. She helped heroes who were worth helping. Alas, Athena, my favorite Olympian. Just don't tell Zeus I said that. Because, let's be honest, how do you find a flying horse? You can't set a trap. You can't leave out bait. Oats or birdseed, Pegasus? No. You can't exactly post a notice either. Wanted, one flying horse. The situation required divine intervention. Though Athena stepped in. She came to Bellerophon, not in battle, but in a dream. Go to Corinth, she told him. At the well of Parity, you will find him. And here's something worth remembering. You must trust your dreams, because long before waking life takes shape, it is tested in the world of dreams. What we become begins there. And Bellerophon understood. She didn't hesitate. She followed the dream to Corinth, to the Acropolis, to the sacred well of Parity. And there, just as Athena promised, was Pegasus, drinking, waiting. Bel gave silent thanks to Athena, then faced the real problem. How do you capture a creature that can fly? Think about it. The horse flies. The man runs. Advantage. Pegasus. Any questions? I did think so. Next comes the impossible. Well, what's a hero to do? Bellerophon cursed the seer Politis under his breath. Oh, why not a turtle? Or a boar? No, tame a flying horse. Brilliant. Mutter, mutter, mutter. Just once, I'd like a prophecy that wasn't outrageous. Oh well, here goes nothing. He lunged, fast, precise, and grabbed nothing. Pegasus lifted effortlessly into the air, hovering above him, judging him. This guy can't be serious. For a moment, the great winged horse considered, dropping a little lesson on his head. He chose mercy. And so it began. Again, and again, and again. Hide, wait, lunge, miss, repeat. Like one of those terrible slapstick shows Zeus watches on Olympus Vision. Honestly, I think Pegasus was enjoying it. And somewhere in the trees, Athena watched, trying very hard not to laugh. Bellerophon tried everything. Food, gifts, bargains, oats, bread, my shirt, even his sandals. Pegasus, to his credit, showed remarkable restraint, because at any moment, he could have ended this very differently. At last, exhausted, Bellerophon collapsed and slept beside the waters of Parity. And in his dream, she came again. Athena, In her hands, a golden bridle, radiant, divine, no speech, no lecture, just a gift and trust. In the dream, Bellerophon approached Pegasus, and this time the horse did not flee. Pegasus stood still, calm, watching, and as the golden bridle slipped into place, something changed. Not control, not dominance, understanding. Man and myth became one. I'm sure it's happened to you. But then the dream shifted. Pegasus was free again, unbridled, and once more Athena appeared, radiant, eternal. Pegasus walked to her, not forced, not bound, willing, and bowed his head as Athena placed a golden bridle upon him, because true power is not taken, it is given. What a dream! Bellerophon awoke to the sound of birdsong. It was the Muses serenading the morning. The waters of Pyrenees shimmered beside him, cool, clear. He drank, splashed his face, and felt renewed. Memo to Belle. It's not a dream. Look behind you. Slowly he turned, and there, just a single step behind him, stood Pegasus, bridle, waiting. No struggle, no flight, just stillness. Bellerophon reached out carefully, almost afraid to break the moment. His hand met Pegasus's neck, warm, real. The wings, brilliant white, alive beneath his fingers. Pegasus lowered his head and nudged him gently, as if to say, "All right, you've earned it." Maybe even, "Sorry about yesterday." Bellerophon stood there, stunned. Then he smiled, because he knew it was time. "Praise be to you, glorious Athena," he shouted, and his voice rang across the hills and valleys. It was time. Let's rock. On the wings of Pegasus they flew, swift, silent, effortless. Bellerophon felt it immediately. Freedom. Man and horse no longer separate. One will, one purpose. This must be heaven. "Thank you, Create Athena," he cried again, and the mountains echoed back his praise. The Chimaera heard him and came. 3 heads, lion, goat, serpent, each scanning for its next meal. Bones littered the ground. A graveyard of heroes. All who came before had failed. Bellerophon circled high above, testing the flames, measuring the reach. He drew an arrow. Pegasus hovered. Perfect stillness. Release. The arrow struck the backside, exactly as intended. "That's for the bad breath," Bellerophon shouted. "Has anybody told you you stink?" The Chimaera roared. Flames surged, but it couldn't reach it. Another arrow, then another and another. The sky rained death. The hunter became the hunted. One last shot, clean, precise, straight through the skull. The beast faltered, mind broken, rage fading. But Bellerophon wasn't done, because strength alone doesn't win battles. Intelligence does. From his pouch, he drew a piece of lead, fixed it to his spear. Pegasus dove straight toward the flames, closer, closer, closer. Strike! The spear plunged into the monster's mouth. The fire melted the lead. It poured into the beast's body, burning it from the inside. The screams didn't last long then. Silence. And just like that, the impossible had been done. The Chimaera was no more. Imagine the king's surprise when Bellerophon returned, alive, victorious, and riding Pegasus. This has to be a joke. It wasn't. King Iobates was not amused. No praise, No water, just another mission, this time the Solimians and the Amazons. Brutal warriors, ruthless fighters, together unstoppable. Let's see him survive this, thought the king. The battlefield rolled with chaos, steel, fire, blood, and then, as shadow crossed the sky, Pegasus. High above the battlefield, out of reach, untouchable, Bellerophon didn't charge, he descended in judgment. Stones fell from the sky, massive, crushing, relentless. It's enough to ruin anyone's day. Soldiers looked up. Too late, the sky itself had turned against them. I once asked Bel why he didn't just use arrows. He had other ideas. Everybody must get stoned, he said, literally. The Solimians fell. The Amazons broke, and Lycia was restored. Happy now, King HUBRIS? Not even close. One more task. Pirates, ruthless, untouchable. Led by Chimaera, a brute, a monster, no one dare challenge him. Bellerophon did. From above. The attack came again. Stones crashed through a wooden sail. The ship broke, split, sank. In short order, he made seafood of the entire crew. And as the wreckage sank, Poseidon's creatures rose to finish the job. Tell me, what happens to a man who cannot lose? By now, his legend had spread across all of Greece. Songs were written, stories told. Bellerophon had become a name the world would not forget. The Muses were under pressure to release a compilation, Cup, Greatest Hits of Bellerophon, and of course, Everybody Must Get Stoned went straight to #1. Boys were named after him. Girls, they were called Belle. Plays were written. The crowds couldn't get enough. The hero had become something more than a man. A symbol, a legend in his own lifetime. Admirers followed him everywhere, begging, pleading, offering anything for just one ride on Pegasus. You'd think that would be enough. Enough to prove his innocence, enough to earn his reward, but not for King HUBRIS. With no monsters left, no enemies to send him against, the king made one last move. An ambush. His elite guards, hidden in the rocks, waiting, silent. Memo to the palace guard. Hiding behind rocks doesn't work when your enemy flies. It was over before it began. The guards fell, and Bellerophon walked on. By now, even Bel understood the king wanted him dead. So he did something different. He prayed to Poseidon, and the earth answered. The waters rose. The Xanthian plain became a sea, a living tide following him. He walked. The waters followed. He stopped. They stopped. Real estate values were complicated. Panic swept the land. The people begged him to stop. Then came the woman of Xanthos, desperate, misled. Apparently someone had been reading the Olympus Inquirer. Yellow journalism at its finest. They offered themselves, believing this would appease him, and Bellerophon turned away, embarrassed, honorable, and as he retreated, the waters receded. That was enough. HUBRIS finally understood. The letter was wrong. This was no villain, no criminal. This was a hero, and perhaps something more than human. At last, the truth came out. King HUBRIS produced the letter and demanded an explanation. Bellerophon spoke. Calm, honest, the story as it truly happened. The king listened in silence, interrupting to question his daughter's actions. And when he understood, everything changed. He had nearly killed the most honorable man he had ever met. That would have made Zeus furious, thought the king. Very, very furious. So what does a guilty king do? He makes it right. He offered Bellerophon his daughter. Her name was Philinoi, and with her, the throne. The kingdom of Lycia became his. I'm sure that's happened to you. And just like that, Bellerophon had everything. A beautiful wife, a thriving kingdom, fame across the world, and Pegasus always at his side. It was perfect. Too perfect. So tell me, what more could a man want? Immortality, a seat among the gods, a place on Olympus. And there it is again, that word, that warning. Hubris. As often happens to those who have everything, Bellerophon began to believe, he deserves more. Hubris, that quiet voice that tells you, you are greater than you are. He had conquered monsters, commanded kings, flown through the heavens, so why not become a god? Athena had helped him. Poseidon had answered him. Surely he was one of them. The thought grew and grew until it consumed him. His dreams no longer showed possibility. They showed hunger and madness. So he mounted Pegasus and flew, not toward battle, but toward Olympus. Higher, higher, closer to the gates of heaven. But Zeus does not share his throat. With a single act, he sent the gadfly. Pegasus reared, startled, violent, and Bellerophon fell. From the sky to the earth, from glory to ruin. I hate when that happens. Trust me, I've been there. That is hubris. Pride so great, it demands a fall. Athena and Poseidon pleaded for his life. Zeus spared him, but not out of kindness. Bellerophon lived, but everything else was gone. Broken, blind, alone. A hero turned ghost, wandering the earth until the end. Sad, yes. So what's the lesson? Always carry gadfly repellent. Not a bad idea, but more than that, be humble. Be grateful. Remember, you are human. So tell me, what do you give a man who has everything? Hope.